Hello. Um, I have a general idea of what I'm going to talk about here because it's kind of been going through my head throughout the day. Um, and it's kind of all over the place. So this is just an acknowledgement of that up front and a disclaimer if you need to be disclaimed about that. Um, you know how when, like, say you're tanning outside and your head might be like to the ground, your eyes are closed, so it's all black, and like a cloud comes by, you can tell that a cloud has gone by and blocked the sun from you. And also, when the sun comes back, you can tell as well. It doesn't have to do with like seeing it gets brighter or anything. Like, you can feel the waves of the sun, like its rays beating down on you, the warmth that like touches your skin, the slight, most subtle pressure that, like, unless you make a point to acknowledge it, it's very easy to miss. And for most of my life, I never really felt that. I never was really an outside person to begin with, so my amount of times to experience that was limited. That same concept applies with people, with everyone. Like, I hesitate to talk about this because whenever you talk about energies and things like that, I always there's a fear of coming off like a woo-woo crazy person, which I guess I am because I'm talking about energies. Like, I am what I fear in this moment. But for the first time, I'm noticing energies, and it's a lot like the sun. Like, you don't need to have eyes to be able to feel it. Like, there is just that subtle touch when another's energy is in contact with yours, whatever that means. And I really don't know what I mean when I say that, but if you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. This unseen presence that you don't really need this physical world to experience. It doesn't feel like it, at least. Like, yesterday, I was at a Dollar General, and it was very busy for a Dollar General. There was like 20 people in line, maybe, which I don't think I've ever seen that many people. And obviously, that means tensions are going to be high. Most of the time, you're in, you're out. There's no waiting in line for the most part there. Not yesterday. Yesterday, the line was long and the tensions were high. And for the first time, it was like swirling. It was like a dance was going on in that room. I've never been that acutely aware that there was a dance of flowing energies as the tensions rose, and people weren't moving fast enough, or like they had a big order and they were taking a long time to take everything out of their cart. Like, yeah, people were complaining, and like you could hear that the energy was changing and energies were exchanging, but I can't explain it, man. But I can only tell you I felt it. And for most of the last week, I felt very shut off from the spiritual side of my life. That's why I haven't really posted anything. I think this is the longest I've actually gone without posting a video. And it was because I've just felt shut out. And I still don't know why. Maybe you can tell. I worry that sometimes when I say something like that, it's like in Blue's Clues where Steve is like, "Hey, I wish we could find that clue," and it's just like right over there. Maybe it's apparent why, but I can't figure it out. But yesterday, the palpable energy in that room was enough that it just like it kicked the door down. It didn't matter what personal issues were going on in here. you could feel the presence of everyone else in that room. And since then, I've been very hyper aware of the energies of everyone. It's like one of those things that, like, once you notice something, once you notice a pattern, you start seeing the pattern everywhere. That kind of thing. And it was just everyone's energy. And the good news is, most of the energies of everyone I've felt since then have been positive, full of joy. For the first time, I've really, in a more deeper way, noticed my energy, the me that is beyond this body, beyond the physical world. I've been able to be incredibly aware when this presence acknowledges another's. For the first time ever. Or maybe the better way to explain it is, this is the first time I've ever had a label on it. That I know what it is. Because I think for a long time, I probably have felt this because I've in many ways had a fear of people with, like, anxiety and things like that for so much of my life. And what I'm starting to understand, or I believe I'm starting to understand, is that there are times you just kind of want to be the person at the grocery store in your sweatpants and, like, just doing your own thing. You don't want anyone to notice you. And because we live in a physical world, you have this idea that if you're just, like, dressed down, dressed like nothing to look at, you will kind of fade into the background. But I guess in the back of my head, I always knew, because I always was feeling the energies of others observing me, that you are never able to truly slip away into the background. You're too important for that. So how that manifests is you're just a person that's like, don't look at me, don't look at me. But you're asking people to do something they have no control over, of course. You are a presence whether you want to be or not. You are here. Something I think that this channel has really helped me with, I think I've talked about before, is that it's in many ways developed the person I am. Like, I would say right now, the way I'm talking to you is the way I would like to be talking to everyone in my life. Like, this is the me I want that feels most true. Like, I don't know what's about to come out next. I'm not, there's no agenda here. I'm just sharing with my friends. Just truly letting it all come out. And I never got to know this part of myself, and this channel has been the way in which I've met this person. It's the way this person has kind of been forged into reality. I think a lot of the times when I feel disconnected from my spiritual side and feel disconnected from the God in others and the God that surrounds me at all times, it's because I'm in that mode of, hey, please stop looking at me. Hey, don't look at me. I don't want to be perceived. I just want a day off from being this person, because I'm just so used to having that other person with the ego that just puts up a bunch of walls and puts up a bunch of lies so it doesn't have to engage with reality. But that person always was suffering. So it makes sense that when that person comes back out, you're going to continue to suffer. You're going to not feel connected to God because that person isn't connected to God because that's not a real person. This is real. This is the person that needs to meet everyone. And I think that is, in many ways, an integration that needs to occur more fully. Sometimes I am like, let me show God to this person. But in reality, all I'm doing is putting on like my customer service mask. That's something I only really recognized today. Like I was trying to show people God just by being really polite. As if that's what God is. God's nice. No. You have to be yourself. All the time. Every moment. And I don't think I ever recognized that before. Like with this channel, in many ways, I am a public figure. Like strangers know about me. I mean that in that way. But even if I didn't have this channel, I think the move would still be to understand that you are a public figure. You are in reality. You are a real person. Public figure. Same difference. You are here, and there's no time to just like be a fake person. There's no world in which you just get like a day off from living in truth. Or if you do, don't expect to enjoy your day off. Why are you trying to take off on vacation? This is the vacation. This is the paradise. You just gotta show up. You need to show this public persona to everyone. It's gonna be okay. People want everything to be okay. So on the whole, people are going to want to extend that person love. I don't want to point, blame, or say things that like my suffering is someone else's fault. That's not what I'm trying to do when I say this. But growing up, I grew up in a house where one of my parents clearly was a very fearful person and did not know how to properly express those thoughts, so they often came out in anger. And when that happens, and a child that doesn't recognize that anger is fear experiences that, all they recognize is when they are being themselves, there's anger around that. So it causes you to put that person away, to realize that, oh, that's not for everyone. There is a way where that anger doesn't happen, so go with that. And the annoying thing is that just gets programmed. So once you grow up, that's still kind of the default setting. For me, right now I'm really in the in the process of reminding myself, actively reminding myself that that person, that anger, was not actually directed at me. It was fear that was projected out. That's all it was. That does not excuse me from because I had trouble being myself in the past, because there were roadblocks put up against my will that might be barriers that others don't have, that doesn't mean that I just get like a special pass. And like, I just get to skip to the part where I'm fine. On my part, there needs to be a conscious effort to show this person to others, even though in the back of my mind there might be some lie echoing around saying this person will hate you if you show them the truth. In saying this to you right now, it's obvious, but like that's easy to believe. But in the moment when everything's live and you are in the real world, fear can feel very real. But it needs to be confronted dead on. And I don't like doing the hard work. I'm really recognizing that. Or at least I'm just so unused to it. I'm so used to things just naturally coming to me that when you really gotta put in the work for it, it's difficult, you know? So I'm kind of in a place where I've got to figure out where to get that inner strength from. When I say things like this, I worry that it comes off as like I'm asking for help. I'm not necessarily. I'm just kind of, I'm talking to Fleabag, you know, or I'm Fleabag talking to the camera. I think sometimes it comes off like, at least to me, that I'm asking for an answer. Sometimes this is just the way to process it, you know? Like I said, this is all over the place. I think that's all I had to say. If not, I'll see you again. I appreciate you spending the time with me. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, a great morning, whatever it may be. Peace. I love you.